So I have a brother and sister, and after all three of us left the house, my dad created a man cave out of my sister's room, and he put up all his pictures, all his things in different files and desks. And after he passed away, the way I went to go visit my father, I'd go in his man cave and I'd open up drawers, and eventually I found a letter that said, "Kids, please save this." And it said in there that there was a letter written by his father, my grandfather, on how he came to America. So I found the letter, I opened it up. It's written in Croatian, simple enough where I could understand it. And basically, his older sister came first and brought another sister over, and then another sister over. And then eventually it was my grandfather's turn to come over. And right before he came over, he married my grandmother. And they're from Nerežišta Brač. And my grandmother had to stay with his family as my grandfather came over here to America. He came here to New York City July 4th, 1920. And a pretty funny story. That night when he went out to New York City, he says in the letter that he thought he was back in the war. And he served in the Austro-Hungarian army in World War I. And he heard all the fireworks going off. Probably the first time he's ever seen a firework. But his first thought was, what's going on here? And he thought he was back in World War I. So he eventually made his way here to Los Angeles to live with his sister in downtown LA, right next to St. Anthony's Croatian Catholic Church. In downtown on Alpine and Grand, they lived right off of Sunset on Bartlett Street. After a year or two, when he raised enough money, he brought his wife over, my grandmother, and my father was born in 1926. My aunt, he had an older sister, my aunt, that was born previously, and as the family grew, they had to get out of there. It was just too many people in a house, so they came down here to San Pedro, another large Croatian community, where my grandfather made a living cooking. He was a cook. He started Goodfellow's Grill here on 5th and Harbor, and he had other various jobs in downtown San Pedro. And eventually, he took over the cantina, the cafeteria at Starkist Foods.